Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen and I'm so excited that you're here. I make videos that encourage you, empower you to be more, not less in this world, and most importantly, to have fun because this beautiful life is meant to be enjoyed. Today I'm coming at you with an idea that I challenged myself to 31 days ago. Back on May 1st, I challenged myself to journal every single night for the month of May because I truly wanted to see if it would help me, how it would help me, and be able to document that for y'all and kind of just give my honest opinion about journaling. And the thing is, I've always wanted to journal. I see people who are like, oh, I journal every night, and I have tried it before, and I would write like a little bit and then I just couldn't get into it, or I didn't know what to write. Or what I would do is I would just like journal a lot of negative thoughts, and like there are some journals that I have tucked away on my shelves that just have some really mean things about myself written on there because I would get so frustrated and blow up on the paper, which I guess is a better place to blow up than like to blow up to other people or in public, that kind of thing. But all that to say, I really wanted to challenge myself to see if I could just journal every single night, whether it was a sentence, whether it was 3 pages. There was no certain topic that I was supposed to talk about. Truly see that if I committed myself to it, if I created a habit out of this, would it help or not? And so the verdict will be at the end of this video, but I have some important lessons along the way. So watch the whole thing, but at the end you will have the verdict. In this intro, I just kind of wanted to explain my reasoning behind it, as well as just talk about some of the journals I have and hopefully just give you a little information to be able to go off of. So kind of what sparked this idea of journal every single day was back on Instagram at the end of April, I found this little mental health challenge for the month of May. And every single day there's a new challenge, something to help with your mental health. Like, and some of them were journal prompts and some of them were actions to do. I wanted to journal every single night on my feelings, but also to journal on whatever the topic was for that calendar day. So if it was an activity, I would just journal what I did or how it made me feel. Or if it was more of a question like, if failure wasn't an option, what would you do? So that's what inspired it. I'm gonna be completely honest with you here. I missed a decent amount of days towards the end. I was good for the first half until like May 16th. I was solid, and then from May 16th or May 17th to May 31st, it did break down a little bit because life. You'll hear more about my story and kind of my journey throughout it in the next few minutes. But first, before I did that, I want to talk about journals for a second, because I think some people think they need the perfect setup and the perfect pen, the perfect journal, and like all these things to make journal like, you know, this amazing thing. And I'm here to tell you it can be so simple. But I do have some favorite journals, so I kind of want to show you. For journaling, I have multiple different journals, but like 2 main journals that I use. One is for my journaling that I did here and therapy and things like that. And then my other is what I call my Jesus journal, and that's like all my devotions, my prayer lists, just writing letters to God, that kind of thing. But the 2 different journals, so I'm not talking about the topic, I'm just talking about the actual type of journal that it is. So I'll go with my Jesus journal first, that I just put down, but picking it back up. So this is a moleskin, and I absolutely love it. Of course, it's a little more expensive than like my therapy journal, but I like it because it is very sturdy and hard to cover. I like that it has this little band to help keep it. Not that like it easily falls open, but it just kind of feels like it's nice and secure and safe. So I like that. And then just normal pages. Good amount of space. I'll turn to a blank one so you can see somewhere. Yeah, so normal pages. One of my favorite things about these types of journals is there's a little pocket in the back, so you can put papers in. I do like this idea because if there's other papers that go along with your journaling or therapy or something, you can put them in the pocket. I will say there are many different brands that have this type of style of pocket in it. It's not just Moleskin. I have 2 other journals up there. One was my Jesus journal from last year, that's a different brand, and one is my Dear Future Husband journal, where I write letters to my future husband. For my therapy journal, I wanted something that was a little more fun, with a meaningful message, that was a little more like colorful than just, you know, like a plain journal like this kind of thing would be on the outside. Because if I knew I was going to be struggling through therapy and mental health, I wanted something fun. So this is what I got. It is from the Life is Good brand, and I got it at Target. I get all my journals at Target. This is the Life is Good company, and I really like the journal because I like that there was just a rainbow and that it said simplify. It's just kind of like positive vibes And so yeah, that's why I purposely like chose something that's more fun on the outside. And then I don't know if you'll be able to see on the actual paper, it says do what you love what you do. And some things I like about this journal is it's actually super sturdy and it's more of a cloth outside. So while I do love like the moleskin, it's more of like a glossy finish. So I sometimes feel like fingerprints get on it, whereas like this is just a cloth. And so I really like that, and it actually is super sturdy, not quite as like durable as those, but still for what I needed, it's perfect. Quality thick paper as well. Like I said, I mostly chose this one for my therapy and journaling and mental health simply because I like the design but the one thing, the downside to this kind of thing is it doesn't have a pocket in the back. So like sheets and activities from therapy, I don't have a pocket to put them in. I just kind of put them in. And so sometimes if I'm just chilling and I'm just journaling like here, they fall out. But that's not the end of the world for having a cute journal. But if that's something that's like a big deal to you, you might want to get something that has a pocket in the back. So with that said, now I'm going to jump into the videos of me journaling and me talking about how I felt on different nights throughout my journey, just kind of the highlights and points throughout my journey for you guys to go along to, and then at the end I will give the verdict. So I just finished up my journal entry for tonight, May 1st, and the topic on the mental health checklist thing was 10 things you're grateful for. So I definitely did that. But at the beginning, I also journaled about my day and just kind of things I've been feeling lately. They've been good. So today was a good journal entry. I'm sure there's going to be bad ones to come. But I definitely did not want to do this journal entry. I was like literally about to climb into bed, right back there. And I was like, no, I've been meaning to journal this and get it off my chest. People think journaling is just for the negatives, but also be for the positives. And I want to document that to show that I'm having so many more good days than bad days. I feel so much better now after journaling for maybe just like 7 to 8 minutes. So day one, so far, so good. May 3rd. I just finished day 3 of journaling, and to be honest, I did not want to journal tonight. It's kind of been a theme, even though it's only been 3 nights. But like I said in the beginning, I'm just not a journaler, and I sort of want to start becoming one, and I just really want to see how it affects me. So I did it anyway, and I ended up writing the most that I have out of the past 3 nights. And today wasn't a super good day, super bad day. It was just kind of in the middle, some highs and some lows. And so it was just good to get those on paper and to get my thoughts out, because a lot of times if they get trapped up here, then it can kind of just go crazy and I have a billion thoughts in my mind. So it's been good just to get it out all on paper. No one can judge me. No one's going to see this. So it doesn't have to make sense. It can just be kind of a ramble. But it also can be a way of me working out what I'm noticing in my life and changes I want to make. So that's what today's was. Today is May 15th, and so I'm about halfway done, and I just kind of want to give a quick update because I don't think I have talked to y'all about it since like May 4th or something, so it's been almost 2 weeks. And if I'm being completely honest, like the past couple of days I was trying to reflect and think on how journaling has helped me. I was like, I really honestly don't think it's helped me. Like, but at the same time, I actually journaled about this, but I haven't had too many like really bad days. Whereas before, when I had a really bad day, that's when I would journal. So I'm interested to see in the next 2 weeks if I have a super bad day, if journaling really helps, if I see a mindset shift around it. Maybe I haven't had those bad days because of the progress I've seen from journaling. I don't know. I have noticed it's just good to get my thoughts out, because at least for me, I'm constantly talking to myself in my head and thinking good and bad and just all these random thoughts in my head. So sometimes it's so good to literally just put pen to paper. But I will say today is the first day or the first night that I've kind of actually noticed a change from journaling, and nothing bad still happened, but I started journaling one thing thinking it was going to be kind of quick and reflecting on my day, and it kind of went to like a whole new path, and I saw kind of more growth and more insight about this journey that I've been on that I haven't realized yet. I saw the power of journaling, and sometimes I like journal prompts because if you can't think of anything, it gives you something to write about. But sometimes I like to just like think about my day, reflect and write that and see where that takes me, because honestly, it brought up some feelings that I didn't even really know I was feeling, which I know might sound cliche, but just kind of talking through my day, and one little thought I had that it was a little bit of like fear and anxiety coming in, writing about that then led me into like a whole thing of realizing just like the growth and just kind of this new perspective that I'm having on this next upcoming season. So I do just want to say, like, while I didn't think it was helping with my emotions so far, I do think it's helping maybe unlock stuff slowly but surely that I didn't realize. And so, like I said, I'm interested to see in these next 2 weeks if I have a bad day, what happens, or if journaling maybe is the reason I'm not having those super bad days, because at the end of the day I'm able to write, and then also maybe I'm able to better connect with my emotions, so throughout the day and the weeks that's helping. But just want to give that update and can't wait to see what the next 2 weeks hold. So I hadn't journaled for a while, and it was May 26th that I just kind of had some feelings stirring up inside of me, and so I decided to actually journal during lunch that day, because I hadn't journaled probably for like a week before that, and I just felt like I had too much chaos inside of me that needed to come out. And in that, I've realized that that's truly just like the purpose of journaling, is to just get our feelings out. And I think sometimes we think it has to be this perfect planned letter and perfectly worded and it makes sense, and like really that taught me that it can be so simple as just getting your feelings out, or when you feel like you have chaos in you, to bring some order to that chaos on paper. All I did during lunch was write "I feel blank" with like some sentences beneath explaining why I felt that, or what situation occurred to cause me to feel that. And I did that for 3 or 4 different feelings. And from there, it led to more kind of introspective journaling, which was cool to see that. But it just reminded me that, like, if we don't have that deep introspective thought, that's okay still. Like, literally journaling could just be you writing "I feel blank" with like the scenario of why you feel that, or without an explanation, just like "I feel blank." It's just really getting your thoughts down to paper so you can process it and you don't keep it like all up in your head. And so that's just a little encouragement, I think, to you if you're like thinking you need the perfect journal entry or the perfect prompt, like you don't know what to do. Just start writing how you feel, and a lot of times other things will pour out as you begin to open up to that. So today is May 31st, and I just finished my last journal post, and I will do a recap video at the end of this, like later in the week. But I will say that I have missed some days. I actually missed quite a few days near the end of May, but that's okay. I wanted to end this month on a high note, on a positive note, and just journal, because I hadn't journaled in a few days, because usually what will happen, I'll stay up a little bit later or be a little more loose on my routine. And by the time I get in bed, I remember, oh yeah, I wanted to journal, and at that point I'm too tired to get up and go journal. But I did journal like 3 pages tonight, so that was really good, and I felt like just the accumulation of this month, it kind of flowed nicely on tonight's journal entry, which was really nice. And yeah, so I just wanted to capture a video on the last day or the last night of journaling, and the next clip will be me explaining kind of my thoughts and my process on this month of journaling. So, here we go, my honest thoughts on journaling, my journaling experience, is it worth it, etc. And so I'm coming away with the verdict that, quite honestly, for me personally, journaling isn't a habit that I want to do every single day. And I say that simply because in my time journaling, I found it so helpful. And as you saw in the videos, there were things that I just needed to get out in times where I felt chaotic and I needed to get it out on paper. I know for me, I tend to get caught up a lot in like forcing myself to do things that I think should help me or I should do. And I realized through this process that I love journaling. Journaling is great, but it's not something that I should do every night or that I'm going to force myself to do every night. I think journaling is super helpful. And I have learned a lot of things about journaling that I will put on the screen here. One is that journaling is so good just to have a conversation with yourself. Just like you would talk to a friend or your therapist or a parent about what you're going through, sometimes like before you talk to them, you just need to have a conversation with yourself, and that happens on paper in the journal. 2, a lot of times I've realized we don't necessarily understand what we're feeling, what we're going through, and journaling can help. there were many times where I didn't really know what to start journaling, so I would just use the prompt, or I would just like say, this is how I feel, and 2 pages later I was journaling thoughts and like feelings that I didn't know were inside of me. But sometimes just the initial start of putting pen to paper is what can release a lot of stuff locked up inside of us that we didn't know were locked up inside of us. And so I think journaling can be super helpful to understand those emotions just for ourselves and to better express them. And the third reason that I loved journaling is because I found that I express myself well through words. I'm able to use words to convey a message. On the other hand, I am not good at expressing my feelings, about saying how I'm feeling and what's inside of me, or showing my emotions. I found that I was able to write some like deeply powerful stuff when I journaled that I probably wouldn't be able to conceptualize and say to someone otherwise, which I know people might think sounds weird, like if you can write it, why can't you say it? But it's just something that's inside of me. And so I think if you are someone who is not good at speaking your emotions or showing your emotions in those physical ways, sometimes writing can be an amazing way to express yourself and to write just beautiful things that can move you. The fourth and final thing that I found that I liked about journaling was sometimes you just need to get it all out of here and onto paper. There were so many times that I would just like write it out and I felt better afterwards. Even if like I still thought of the chaos, it was at least another location where I had it all out, so I could just let go because it was on the paper, it was right there. Even though my verdict was that I'm not going to choose to do it every single night, I do recommend journaling. However, I don't recommend you forcing yourself to journal if you've tried it and you found that like it's not something that you regularly want to do. But I think keep scenarios in mind when you're feeling a lot of emotions and you don't know how to express them, when you have a lot of chaos in your head, when you just need to express yourself in a different way besides speaking. Turn to journaling and definitely do that. Journaling is such a personal thing that every single person's journaling journey is going to look different, and the way they journal and what they journal is going to be so different. I do recommend you doing some kind of challenge, whether it's a week, a month, 10 days, do some kind of time period to challenge yourself to journal every single day. And even if you miss a day, if you miss 5 days, like that's okay. Just get back on it when you can and see for yourself, because I think that's the best way to know if journaling is super worth it, is just experiencing it for yourself. And I think sometimes there's gonna be seasons in our life that are more difficult and journaling might take a higher priority. We might want to journal more, and some seasons we want to journal less. And the best bet is to just try it for yourself and see if you like it. But I think at least going through the challenge gave me more of an idea, because before I was like, I'm never gonna journal. And so I think forcing yourself to in a challenge situation for a certain amount of time can kind of help start the gears, so that now I feel confident that I'm in a place where I can journal when I want and how I want and be able to turn to it in a healthy manner, rather than saying you should or you need to, because that just puts more pressure on ourselves if we don't feel like journaling and you're just telling yourself you have to journal, you need to journal, like come on, what's wrong with you? That's worse for our mental health when we're doing something that's trying to help our mental health. I think it's something that everyone should try for a period of time, and then transition into a style of just journaling how and when you want and what's going to be good for you. Journaling has definitely helped, and I hope that you can find a way and type of journaling that helps you as well. If you enjoyed this video and the content, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video from me, and of course, I hope you go knowing that you are worth more than you know, capable of more than you think, and loved more than you can imagine. I'll see you in the next video.